Hello, my book friends. How are you today? My name is Flo, and this is the Grape Jelly Library. Before we get started, please hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. How are you doing today? I hope you are doing well. I myself am doing fantastic. Today is my day off, and I am overjoyed with the notion of that thought. My plans are from this point out to read, decorate a little bit for Christmas, read, get a little snack, read, decorate, read. So they are my plans, and I will not falter on them. They are lovely plans. I am so looking forward to this day. I am too excited about it. I hardly ever get a day off, and so when I do, I don't always do the right thing with that day. Sometimes I am too focused on getting chores done, and then I had absolutely zero relaxation time that I managed to get in there. But not today. Today I am going to, how do they say, work smarter, not harder. Yes, I am going to be a bookworm for most of the day. I got up super early, probably about, I think it was right around 3 a.m. and I headed over to the fitness studio at 5:30 a.m. I got my 45-minute workout in, so that is out of the way. Now the rest of the day is nothing but leisure, and it is a fantastic feeling. I wish that for all of you out there. All right, so today we are going to talk about a book that I just finished reading called Mommy Dearest, and it was written by Christina Crawford, and there is a movie out pertaining to this book. Before we get into that, though, please head on over to the channel A Virgo Rising Reads. I have just recently found her channel. I'm always on the hunt for a new book channel. I have just come across her channel, and she is delightful. So if you would ever so kindly head on over to her channel and show her a little support as well, it would be greatly appreciated. All right, so let's get into this doozy of a book. Joan Crawford is a famous movie actress. I believe she was born in 1904. Don't quote me, but I believe that's when she was born, March 23rd, 1904. And she became a very successful actress after growing up in poverty. So growing up, she was kind of resentful of her own mother because her mother did not have a husband. Therefore, Joan did not have a father. So Joan resented her mother for never placing a father figure into her life. And also because Joan grew up in poverty, she resented her mother because she just felt, she was something better than poverty stricken, something more than that. She couldn't control her situation at that time, but lo and behold, when she became of age, she was going to do everything in her power to turn that situation around, and she most certainly did. She became a very famous movie actress, and she was rather well known for her temperament. She was unruly, she was stubborn, she was bossy, hard to get along with, very dictative. She was OCD to the extremes. She was all the things. She had violent outbursts due to alcoholism, and just due to her way of thinking, perfectionism, that's what it all boiled down to. Everything in her world had to be perfect, from the people that surrounded her to her living environment. After 7 attempts of trying to get pregnant, she just simply couldn't. So she set out to adopt a child. She adopted a little girl that she named Joan Crawford after herself. Not long after that, she adopted a little boy and named him Philip after the man that she was married to at the time. After about 3 years into the adoption, she decided to change the children's names to Christina and Christopher. Years later, she did go ahead and adopt 2 more children, and I must say, some of these children were adopted illegally. She had a friend of a friend pull some strings to get her these children. She loved children, and she loved puppy dogs because they were the 2 things that Joan could control. They were the 2 things that would wreak endless adoration on her and bestow love and affection and everything that Joan required. Joan required a lot of attention. Joan had a hard time coping, so oftentimes she resorted to alcohol to numb herself of any undesirable thoughts or feelings. While the children were growing up, she was attentive, loving, caring. She gave them extravagant parties. As they started to get a little older and do their thinking for themselves, that's when the shift in the relationship began to occur. So if Joan had a certain way of thinking or doing things, and the children, particularly Christina, who was kind of feisty herself and somewhat defiant, if she defied Joan, then that's when World War II would break out. It got so bad at times, spoiler alert, so if you have not read this book like I never read it, you might not want to listen to this video. But if you are like me and you really just don't care about spoilers, spoilers are to you what they are to me. All the more reason to want to pick that book up, to do a deeper dive. Then by all means, keep on keeping on and listening to this, this review. All right, so the fights between Christina and Joan got so bad and so out of hand at times. There was one time when Joan nearly choked the ever-loving life out of Christina. The maid caught them mid-act and, screamed, "Joan, what are you doing? Stop, stop." It was just a terrible situation, and Christina for sure thought that was going to be the end of her life. Oftentimes her mother would smack her in the face. They were given Christmas presents by numerous people, including Joan herself, and then they were told that they could only keep one and the rest were to go to underprivileged kids, children in the orphanage. They were just gonna get gone from the house, but they were to choose the present that they, wanted the most. Coffee break. There were times where the children were fast asleep and Joan would be rip-roaring mad, and she would go into Christina's room and rip the closet apart till there wasn't one single item left in that closet. It was all thrown throughout the bedroom, and we're talking 2-3 o'clock in the morning. She would tell Christina to clean this mess up, stop being, so disorganized, and stop being such a pig about things. We like things tidy and neat and organized. Now get this mess cleaned up, and it would take her until the morning to do so. Christina was told to clean Joan's bathroom, and then it would get inspected by the housekeeper, and it passed inspection until Joan went to inspect it herself and did not like what she saw. So she took the entire can of cleanser and emptied the contents throughout the bathroom, which housed clear glass tabletops for the vanity. So could you imagine cleanser, white powdery cleanser all over glass tabletops, all over the floor, all over the mirrors. She told Christina, clean it up, and she gave her a very minute amount of cleaning tools to get it up with. And Christina knew it was an uphill battle. How am I going to get all of this up with this little bit of cleaning tools you are supplying me with? And Joan just said, figure it out, and walked away. There were times where Joan would be in a tizzy because I think she just got fired from MGM, and so she was enraged. She was furious. So she went to the beautiful rose garden with an axe and a saw, and she just wreaked havoc on it. She cut every single rose bush down, and there was also a very fruitful orange tree that Joan hacked till it toppled over, and the garden was just one big mess. And she told Christina and two other people to get it cleaned up. No gloves, no materials to pick these picky rose thorny, stems up with, and really nowhere to dispose of them. Joan just let that be their problem, and let me tell you what, it better be to Joan's specifications. So we just have a whole slew of incidents that Christina has encountered at the hands of Joan that were absolutely undesirable. I can't imagine someone having to go through what Christina went through. I think it's terrible, and I do believe that Joan Crawford will not exactly be remembered for the great actress that she may have been, but will forever be remembered for this devilish monster that she was towards the people she supposedly loved in her life. So now I'm going to end that there, and I am going to add to it. We're going to twist it now, and I am going to add this sentiment to it. There are always three sides to every story: my side, your side, and the truth. So I guess we will never know what the truth is, because Christina chose to write this book and release it 1 year after Joan had passed away. Now, my thoughts were, if you hated your mother so much, then why would you speak ill of the deceased? Why wouldn't you do this when Joan was still with us? What's your motive here? Where are we going with this, Christina? So, and it's also been said, Christina just wants to wash her hands of this and walk away from it. But she did go out and put a 40th anniversary edition to Mommy Dearest out there, kind of keeping the story alive there. I believe that Joan Crawford was most, if not all, of those things, but I do not believe Christina was that innocent. Christina throughout this book is very, at first I was like, oh, that's terrible. Oh, you poor girl. Oh, you don't deserve that. Why would anybody do that? It's almost as if you were better off still in the orphanage. But then there came a point in the book where there is just so much neglect and violence and hatred bestowed upon Christina at the hands of her mother that it would make one wonder. It actually made me say, really? This is like unbelievable. Each and every time Christina would say, I don't understand why she would do this. I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. And I did nothing wrong. And I'm innocent, innocent, innocent. And I don't believe that. I believe that Joan had shortcomings. Christina knew what buttons to push, and I believe she pushed those buttons quite often. I started to figure this out when I got to the point of the book where Christina said that she was on location during an Elvis Presley movie. And she was sitting side by side with Elvis on the couch, and she had a drink in her hand, and Elvis was smoking a cigar. And the conversation was about, you know, his cigar and her drink. And the perspiration from her drink was kind of the condensation, how do I want to say that? From her drink was dripping all over Elvis's shirt, which she was made to apologize profusely to him for. I don't believe that. Elvis is a pretty easygoing guy, and I don't really think he's that uppity that if he got a couple water drops on his shirt that he would get all bent out of shape. That's when I started to think that Christina might be, you know, doing a little gaslighting, playing the victim, because throughout this whole entire book, Christina never ever admitted to doing one single thing wrong. And I mean, let's face it, when we're human, we're going to do many things wrong throughout our life, but not Christina. Yeah. So, am I glad that I read this book? Absolutely. I finally got to put my curiosity to rest. I wanted to read this book for so long now. I had it downloaded in my Audible files. It was just chilling, hanging out there. And because of this Read What You Have challenge, I was finally able to go in that direction, pick it up, and get it read. So thank goodness for this challenge. Now I can move on from this, and I'm happy to say that. That was book number 2 in the Read What You Have on Your Bookshelves challenge. I might not be saying that right, but you get the gist of it. If you want to participate, it's never too late. You can do it any month, anytime. Head on over to Criminali's Discord page. You can find his book channel, go to his description, hit the link to his Discord, and you can enjoy all of the conversations that go on there, and you can join in on this challenge anytime, any month, any day, anytime. Super fun challenge, and I am so thankful that I am a part of it. My third book that I am choosing to read for this challenge is Every Leaf a Hallelujah by Ben Okri, illustrated by Diana Ejata. So it says this. Oh my goodness. Tell me, who couldn't be on board with this? We're going deep into our inner selves, and we're tapping into that inner peace with this hectic world, all this hustle and bustle out there, especially with the holidays coming. Let's take a moment. Let's step back. Let's sit in our favorite chair. Let's quiet or some mood music. Let's light some candles. Let's pour our favorite beverage, and let's do this. It was a sheer joy to be able to read this. It is mysterious and magical and true. The illustrations are woven wonderfully around the words. The trees are with you. Telling it, writing it. We will know never to take trees or leaves for granted again. A powerful symphony of a story that will resonate for every reader. We hear the wind in the trees on every page. We only have to listen. Michael Merpergo. So this is the book I am choosing to read as book number 3 in my the book challenge that I am participating in. What will you be reading? Comment below. I would love to know. Until my next video, friends, know that I love you. Be well, be good, and be reading.